All right, ladies and gentlemen, first burnout underway. Here we go. First qualifying session at DCT World Cup. Presented by Dct Motorsport, the world leader in DCT technology. Make sure you go and check them out and tell them thank you so much for being part of the DCT World Cup here at Bradenton Motorsports Park in our first car up. One that, for some of you, probably needs no introduction, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about it because it has changed drastically since the last time it was here at BMP. This is Mac Brosnan, back by the shop, Houston. One of the quickest cars that was still completely DCT legal. This car has undergone some significant updates. It had run in the sixes at over 200 miles an hour as of 2 years ago. This is also a car that you could see on not only one but two episodes of Hoonigan versus the World, and this versus that, and it won both of its matchups. This car has now undergone significant surgery and now has a turbo 400 underneath the transmission tunnel and has gone to a 4-link in the back. So let's see how Mac Brosnan does here as we get things kicked off. He gets it bumped in. And he gets after it, 1:17.60 foot. 440 at the 8th mile. How about 669 at 209 miles an hour for Mac Brosnan? That is the way to get things started, ladies and gentlemen. 669 at 209 for Brosnan after a whole lot of changes to that car to come out and make a pass like that. First shot at the racetrack is a good way to start his weekend. Our next car, and the second car out of the GTR Unlimited class, this is George Dodworth. George out of the T1 Race Development tent, a nasty flat black GTR staged up on the left side of the racetrack. The big Hoosier tires underneath the back showing you that this car is all business with twin parachutes and wheelie bars in the position necessary. George has seen the first pass, 669. Can he lay down something faster? $122.60 foot, a little soft off the starting line. 486 at 153 and a lot of smoke out of the top end. A 765 at 155, so we're going to have to check the racetrack on that one as he has pulled over to the side on the right side of the racetrack. So, ladies and gentlemen, please stay where you are. We're going to double check the racetrack. Everybody, please stand back and let the safety crews do their work. My DCT Extreme drivers that are in the staging lanes, please suit back up and be ready to go. As we've gotten it all clear on the racetrack, we're going to get things rolling. So first pair out in the DCT Extreme class. We're going to see a little GTR versus Lamborghini action here. As the Alpha Performance, AMSperformance.com, and the Prime Cuts backed Lamborghini will roll up on the left-hand side, the Triple Law Firm side of the racetrack, against the Sauce Shop GTR. That is Dat Lee over on the right-hand side. That's the white GTR on the right-hand side of the racetrack, the McFarlane Racing side, to go up against Jordan Martin on the left side. burnouts are completed. Drivers are pre-staged. Datley is ready. Jordan Martin stages up. Here we go. Both of them off the starting line. Good 130-60 foot for Martin in the Lamborghini. The GTR falling further behind, and Martin will clip the clocks. 742, 196 miles an hour with both parachutes out in the breeze. 886 and 167 for Datley, not a bad pass, but almost 1 full second behind Jordan Martin, and some extra digits after that. So we will move to our next pair here in the DCT Street Class. Again, GTR GR6 Extreme lanes 1 and 2. GTR GR6 Extreme lanes 1 and 2. That'll bring up David Rohrschneider and Craig Blankenship. Blankenship in that beautiful bright orange on the right-hand side GTR. And the Crook County Alpha backed ride GTR on the left side. That's David Rohrschneider. So our first pair has gone down. 742 is the mark to beat. They're staged up and ready. Here we go. A 127-60 foot for David left side. He's having to steer it around his lane, but he will get there. How about 719, 187 for David Rohrschneider, left-hand side of the racetrack. That is new low ET. 849 and 170 for Craig Blankenship. Will slide him into the number 3 spot. Still well over a second back of low qualifier. So we now have 2 cars in the 7s, 2 cars in the 8s. And our next pair coming out of the burnout box, another pair of GTRs. The Fast Tech Motorsports backed ride on the right-hand side. That's Damon Fegley. And Nick Cucci will come up left-hand side. That is the flat black GTR with the neon green influence accents. Beadlocks on all 4 corners. Again, 719, the number to beat here in DCT Extreme. Let's see how they do right here. A little bit of wheel hop, a 125-60 foot left side. Nick on his way. 760 at 179, 808 at 188 for Damon. So Damon with more top speed. The car kind of moved around on him, and he gathered it up in the second half, but didn't make the first half count as well, and that affected him in the ET. All right, attention in the pits, attention in the pits. I need my GTR GR6 Extreme class lanes 1 and 2, GTR GR6 Extreme class lanes 1 and 2. Now my first call for DCT Street. DCT Street lanes 3 and 4, please. DCT Street. DCT Street lanes 3 and 4, please. DCT Street. DCT Street lanes 3 and 4 at this time for your first qualifying session. Our next pair on the starting line, Kevin Stowe and Marcelo Duran. Duran in the blue forged backed ride on the right-hand side. This guy picked up 2 wins at FL2K 2022 at Gainesville Raceway last year. Will stage up against Stowe's blinding bright GTR on the left side. Both of them off the starting line good, 1.2, 60 foots in both lanes. Marcelo, 725, 197 for the forge back ride right-hand side. 814 at just 134 for Kevin Stowe. He made a good hit to the 8th mile and then got out of it and coasted the rest of the way. But right now, Marcelo slots himself into the number 2 spot, just 600ths of a second behind the pole sitter. Chris Sassy and Tom Harrison, our next pair of GTRs to come to the starting line. Chris Sassy in the number 16 car on the right-hand side. Number 19, that is Tom Harrison over on the left-hand side, the black with carbon accented GTR. And what looks like an all-carbon GTR over on the right-hand side. They're staged and ready, green light on. Harrison, the better 60-foot. Looking to the finish line at 768's a pair in both lanes. A little bit of smoke out of the right-hand side for Chris Sassy as he crosses the finish line. But both of them, 768, 184 miles an hour for Harrison. He'll slide into the number 5 spot. Chris Sassy, 768.7, 5/1000ths of a second slower, but a good pass nonetheless at 182 miles an hour. Will slide into the number 6 spot. So right now, we have 6 of 10 cars that have gone down the racetrack in round number 1 of qualifying in DCT Extreme in the 7s. Cyber and Antonio Di Lenardi. Lenardi in the beautiful red GTR over on the right-hand side, and Kyle in the Radaback ride on the left-hand side. A little bit of purple influence on the gray. Kyle gets it staged up. Here we go. Antonio, the better 60-foot, the GTR, and is starting to put some distance between him and Kyle. Will hit the finish line first, 8:13 at 176, 9:22 at 153 for Cyber's mount. Not a bad lap for either of them. Once again, GTR, GR6 Extreme lanes 1 and 2. GTR, GR6 Extreme lanes 1 and 2. DCT Street lanes 3 and 4. DCT Street lanes 3 and 4. I need you there for your first round of qualifying, please. Our next pair of GTRs on the starting line, Chuck Cadman. The all-white car on the right-hand side, a little bit of carbon fiber influence, and Billy Massingale on the left-hand side, the light gray car. Massingale off the starting line first and has to use a little bit of extra room, driving it around his lane, but does not get off the loud pedal. An 8:03 at 164. Meanwhile, on the right-hand side, Chuck Cadman is shedding parts. All right, so we are going to be on hold here for a minute as apparently we have found the limitations of how long stuff stays on. Apparently 176 is where it stops. So we had multiple things come off both cars. So we are going to double check that one, as we obviously do not want any parts and pieces on the racetrack that might cut a tire or do something similar. So we are going to be on hold here for just a few minutes while we get that cleaned up. It's Apparent Shaw and Stacy Barnett going to start us off here in the GTR GR6 Extreme class. The beautiful blue GTR of Stacy Barnett on the right-hand side. That's the McFarland Racing side of the racetrack. The gray with red wheel influence, Parent Shaw over on the left-hand side. off the starting line good, and then a little bit of a bobble, and Stacy will coast down the racetrack. Meanwhile, Parent, on the other hand, is still in the stage beam. And we'll wait for that car to clear before they come up on the two-step. There. So neither driver going to get the pass they really wanted there out of that first session. Our next pair rolling towards the starting line, Azier Torres and John Shepard. Shepard in the Shep Trans backed right on the left side, the silver car. Azier Torres in the blue car on the right side. Torres off the starting line first as Shepard's having trouble. And Torres has started to slow as well. 9:27 at 109 for Torres. 10:79 at 116 for Shepard. Neither one of them getting the pass they wanted. DCT 850 lanes 1 and 2. How about Devin Schultz? Out of boosted performance. Devin's car with a little bit of hesitation, but he's got it hooked up and rolling now. Top end 750, 180 miles an hour. A good shot right there for Devin and the Boosted Performance crew. A 141 60-foot. The car looked like it hesitated a little bit right after it came off the starting line. But he will go to the top of the qualifying order. We have one more car to come here in the GTR GR6 Extreme class. So our final car to come up here in the GR6 Extreme class, it says it's Marcelo Duran, and I believe that he could possibly be pulling double duty, as his blue car did make a low 7-second pass earlier in the DCT Extreme class. So the single, you're on the right-hand side. 750 the number to beat. Looking good so far until the car made a violent move. They're still going to run it out the back. 755 at 189 miles an hour with a 119 60-foot. Oh, baby, that one would have easily been number one qualifier if the car had made a violent move to the left just after the 60-foot mark. But if that was Marcelo behind the wheel doing a great job of recovering and saving the run, but obviously a lot left on tap there. So That will wrap up the GTR GR6 Extreme class. We will move to DCT Street. And this class will qualify into the DCT Street and the DCT Street Elite 8. So the quickest 8 cars will go into a heads-up class, and the remaining drivers will go into a second class with a breakout time to prevent sandbagging. So basically that's the way we're going to get things started. Billy Massingale and Mike Dorsick coming up first. Dorsick out of Biloxi, Mississippi, the 2009 GTR. That's the white car on the left side. And the 316 Speedbacked right on the right-hand side. Dorsick off the starting line first, a 121/60 foot. And will stay in front, 768, 182 miles an hour left side, 781 on the right side, and a lot of smoke. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we will be on hold here for a scheduled lunch break from 12 to 1. And we will finish qualifier number 1 as soon as that happens. So once again, all cars need to go ahead and be taken back to your pit area. Please do not park anything in the staging lanes. All cars need to be taken back to your pit areas. Please do not park any cars in the staging lanes. We appreciate your help with that, again, as we tend to the medical needs on both the top end of the racetrack as well as the short track. Once again, we appreciate everybody's understanding. We'll be back with you here in just a little while.
It's insane. 2 accidents in one. This is crazy. And by the way, I am getting all your donations, and I really appreciate it. If I don't call them out, I'm sorry. I can't chew gum and walk at the same time. Sorry guys, but I really appreciate it. It helps a lot. But yeah, this is a one-man show, so bear with me.
Ladies and gentlemen, our first pair out of the burnout box, looking for the starting line, Brooke Barini and David Zawalski. Zawalski out of the right-hand side of the racetrack, the gray Audi. And Brooke Barini, the Alpha Princess. Yeah, you've seen this car on a lot of YouTube coverage, including the Hoonigan TV crew, as it has been on there, I believe, twice. Brooke recently getting married and is back behind the wheel. Looking for a low ET out of that bright pink GTR. A little bit of tire chatter for her left-hand side. David on a good lick right-hand side. Top end says 823 at 174 for David. How about an 847 at 164 for Brooke Barini with the shootout? As both of them make decent passes. Brooke had the better 60-foot time, but if you look at the starting line, you can see where the tire was kind of grabbing and coming off the starting line. As you can see, gaps in the coverage. It wasn't a nice, clean, straight line, and that affected her ET as the car was out there bouncing around, but they'll make the right adjustments for the second shot. Ricky Crosley in the Audi up next, right-hand side, and Kevin Stowe in the Lamborghini on the left-hand side. As we continue to move through the DCT Street class. Once again, please make sure that you keep your DCT World Cup app open so you can get the push notifications as we call classes to the lanes. Kevin Stowe out there in the Lamborghini making a good hit. Left side, going to see an 8-second time slip on that board. 8:35 at 170. And now the Audi will give chase. Down the right-hand side, 764, 192 miles an hour. Holy cow for the Audi. The best speed of the session, 192, 764, puts Ricky all the way at the top of the qualifying session. The only 7-second car in DCT Street so far. So Dane Brooks and Mike Dorsick. Dorsick in the white with orange and yellow accent GTR on the left-hand side of the track, and Dane Brooks in the Audi, the gray car, on the right-hand side of the racetrack. Both drivers rolling into the stage beams. Dane rolled through, so will not get any data. Mike takes the green light. .836 at 163 for Mike Dorsick. So Arnie Paolo and Felix Fabello coming up next. Fabello in the Audi on the right-hand side, and Arnie in the Audi on the left-hand side. Arnie comes off the starting line and made it about 30 feet under power. On the other hand, Felix heads to the finish line, 8:47 at 172. With a 151 60-foot, so a good pass, lots of speed for the ET. The Pairing Shaw coming up next, the Lamborghini Huracan on the left-hand side. That's the black with green accent car. And the blue GTR of Clay Carrer. The GTR hooked up good, 139 on the 60-foot top end says, 846 at 166. The Lamborghini 837 at 176. Big top end charge out of the left-hand side. The better starting line part of the run went to the GTR, but the Lamborghini was making up distance. Racetrack would have been a little bit longer, and that one would have been a photo finish. Kelly Duran having problems. That'll send Jason Hefner on a single in the Audi. Hefner on a good shot, 140 60-foot, 538 to the 8th mile, 821 at 172 for the Audi R8 of Jason Hefner. Good pass there, and that will move Hefner up considerably in the ladder. of a bobble just before the 8th mile, but Mark powers through 8:64 at 1:67. And that will wrap up the DCT Street class. All right, ladies and gentlemen, for qualifier number 2, I need DCT Extreme. DCT Extreme. Lanes 3 and 4 for qualifier number 2. DCT Extreme. DCT Extreme to lanes 3 and 4 for your second qualifier. DCT Extreme. DCT Extreme to lanes 3 and 4 for your second qualifier. Andre Beadle and Alec DeSanto in the 4-door Audi on the right-hand side, the Audi TT RS on the left side of Andre. Alec having some trouble and stops in the middle of the racetrack. On the other hand, Andre down the left-hand side for an 885 at 165. So a good run there for the TTRS of Andre, but Alec having some trouble. And the car comes to a complete stop at about the 200-foot mark. So the crew's on their way out to check and see what's going on. We'll be on hold here for just a minute. And Mark Wendorf in the Audi on the right, made it through first gear and then having some trouble. The Porsche going down the left-hand side. Shea lights the boards at 941, 149 miles an hour as Mark having some trouble. Got off the starting line good, 149, 60 foot, and then the car went to shift and you could just see the weight instantly changed and nothing happened. It was like it hit neutral. So unfortunately, not the run that Mark wanted. We'll go back to the pits and see if they can figure out exactly what went wrong there. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I need DCT Extreme. DCT Extreme to lanes 3 and 4, please. DCT Extreme. DCT Extreme to lanes 3 and 4, please, for your second qualifying session. I need my GTR Unlimited. GTR Unlimited, lanes 1 and 2, please. Tyler Switzer and Wayne Jimerson. Jimerson out front in the GTR right-hand side. The Audi of Switzer trying to give chase. The GTR in control, a whole lot of smoke though. 887 at a slowing 144. 955 at 152 for Tyler Switzer. And both cars keep it straight. But Wayne was on a good pass there, but 887 at just 144. That's down a solid 15 miles an hour. So that's going to put the red lights on, and we're going to double check the racetrack and make sure everything is okay. Mike Salerno and Charlie Walsh next to hit the starting line. A pair of Audis, a pair of gray Audis at that. Charlie Walsh on the right-hand side, Mike Salerno on the left-hand side. The more serious of the two looking cars is Charlie's on the right-hand side. Left-hand side's going to get to the clocks first. 10:33 at 139 left side, 9:79 at 146 with the parachute out for Charlie Walsh on the right-hand side. That will slot them into the number 5 and number 6 spots on the sheet. So Patrick Scusi coming up in the Audi TTRS right-hand side, and Jan Bueller in the Corvette left side. Patrick on a good pass, 871, 167 for the Audi driver right-hand side. And the Corvette on its way down the left-hand side. Looking like a 10-second pass, 10:16 at 146 for the Corvette driver. Billy Soteris coming up next, the blue Porsche with the parachute on the back of it, right-hand side. Left-hand side is Kevin Stowe coming back around for his second hit, as he is in 2 different classes with the Lamborghini. So the Lamborghini of Kevin Stowe left side, the Porsche of Billy Soteris on the right-hand side. Down left-hand side, the Lamborghini stops the clocks at 9:03 at 155. The Porsche, 13:07 at a blistering 158 miles an hour. Losing all the chance for a good ET at the 60-foot as they had some trouble, but once it got through first gear, it was gone. So Billy has a lot of power still left on tap, just was not able to make use of it on that run. David Briggs coming up next, the yellow Porsche, the number 49 car on the left-hand side, and Ryan Cooper, the silver Porsche on the right-hand side. Ryan off the starting line first, little wheelie coming out of the Porsche on the left-hand side. Again, Ryan will get to the finish line first, 877, 154, 872 at 162 left side for David. Both of them clicking off 8.7 second passes. And that will bring up, I believe, our final car. Having some trouble off the starting line. 115 miles an hour at the 8th mile. Top end says 1024 at 148. So a lot of power there at a mid 9-second capable ET, but they just had some issues with it coming off the starting line. So first qualifier for them is complete. We will reset the clocks and we will come back for qualifier number 2, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, GTR Unlimited lanes 1 and 2, GTR Unlimited, I don't have any of you yet. Craig Blankenship and Dat Lee. Blankenship off the start line first in the orange GTR, and Dat Lee trying to give chase right-hand side. At the finish line, 8:43, 174 for Blankenship, 8:36, and also 174 miles an hour for Dat Lee. Both of them improving from their previous passes. Dat Lee goes to number 12, Craig Blankenship number 13. All right, attention in the pits, I need GTR GR6 Extreme, GTR GR6 Extreme to the lanes, please. .717 at 202 miles an hour for Christine Dodworth. How about that pass right there? 480 at 164 miles an hour to the 8th mile, a 126 60 foot. Talk about a shot. As Nick... Once again, I need GTR GR6 Extreme lanes 1 and 2, GTR GR6 Extreme lanes 1 and 2. I now need DCT Street lanes 3 and 4. DCT Street lanes 3 and 4. Damon Fegley coming up next, left-hand side, the Fastech Motorsports GTR, and Kyle Cyber in the Audi right-hand side. Damon on a shot left-hand side, 721, 197 miles an hour for Damon, and Kyle on his way to a 910 at 156 in the four-door. So a 717 followed by a 721, and Damon will go to the number 3 spot as two pairs back-to-back deliver low 7-second passes here at DCT World Cup. So once again, I have called GTR GR6 Extreme lanes 1 and 2, GTR GR6 Extreme lanes 1 and 2. I need DCT Street lanes 3 and 4, DCT Street lanes 3 and 4. Kevin Stowe and David Roschneider going down the track right here. 7:03, 209 miles an hour for David Roschneider. He came in the number 1 qualifier, saw it snatched away, and immediately steps right up and grabs it right back. 7:03, 209.62 miles an hour to reclaim the top spot. Kevin Stowe goes 781 at 184 and gets freight trained by the 7:03 at 209 from David Roschneider. Wow. Stacy on a good pass right-hand side, 7:22, 201.97 miles an hour for Stacy Barnett. Came in the number 5 qualifier and has moved all the way up to number 1. All right, back to the GTR GR6 Extreme class. Pair of GTRs on the starting line, Cole and Chuck Cadman. Cadman the white with carbon accent GTR right side. The flat purple with black spoiler and carbon fiber hood GTR of Cole left-hand side. Both of them off the starting line. Better 60 foot to Cole left side. And the better ET, 830 at 156. Now I stand corrected. 820 at 183. Big top end charge for Chuck Cadman. It looked like an 880 on the scoreboard, and then I turned my attention to the time board here in the tower. Parent shot coming up next, the gray GTR with red accented beadlock wheels. Currently the number 6 qualifier in the class did not make a good shot first time, so Parent obviously looking to improve a lot. And right now looking good. Wheeling it past the 8th, a little bit of steering, and top end says 741, 195 miles an hour with both parachutes out, and that will move Parent to the number 2 qualifying spot. Giddy Shamdi coming up in the ETS back GTR left-hand side. If you have seen it on social media, this thing made an absolute move yesterday in testing, and it took everything that Giddy could do to keep the thing off the wall, and thankfully did so. But when I showed up this morning at about 7:45, the car was on jack stands at all 4 corners, and there was nothing in the right-hand side of the car. So they have gotten everything rebuilt, or at least it appears as such. Giddy will make a solo shot here, left-hand side of the racetrack. Double wheel stand there. Good pass down the left-hand side. How about 698, 196 miles an hour. Only our second 6-second pass of the day. Marcelo Duran and John Shepard on the starting line. Shepard in the Shep Trans entry right-hand side in the FTS back car of Marcelo Duran. Right now Marcelo on a 755, having to manhandle that car left-hand side. John Shepard trying to make a pass out of his side too. How about 717 at 207 for Marcelo Duran and Shepard right there as well. 735 at 199. Both of them almost eclipsing 200 miles an hour, and Marcelo will go all the way up to the number 2 spot. And John Shepard slides into the number 4 spot. So now, ladies and gentlemen, out of 7 qualified cars in the GTR GR6 class, 6 of the 7 have run 7:50 or quicker. That just boggles my mind. And here comes the guy who was on top from qualifier number 1, now in the middle of the field. Actually, in the bottom half, the number 6 spot. This is Devin Schultz, who has been in the 6s before. So obviously he's looking to improve a lot here. Came in the number 1 qualifier, now the number 6 qualifier. What can he do right here? That was not what he wanted. The car came off the starting line and had a lot of back and forth that is not going to be conducive to ET, so as soon as Devin got a hold of it, he wisely backed off the throttle. Now he made it through the middle, probably just to look at the map and see how the fueling was. And he will get it through at a 1461 at 129 miles an hour. So ironically, a 750, the top qualifying spot from the first qualifying session, now only good enough for number 6. That's how much the field has changed. For right now. Attention in the pits, attention in the pits. I need test and tune entries. Test and tune entries to 3 and 4, please. Test and tune entries. Test and tune entries. Lanes 3 and 4, please. Last and final call for DCT 850. Last and final call for DCT 850. Lanes 1 and 2. Clay Kerr and RG Stapus. Stapus in the Lamborghini. Kerr in the GTR. And Clay out there in front, left-hand side, and will continue to stay there. Top end says 829 at 167. The Lamborghini follows at 912 at a whopping 176 miles an hour, a 183 60-foot time. The Lamborghini lost a lot at the early part. If they can put that together in the back half, that is a low 8-second time slip. So RG out of the 316 speed camp will slide into the number 11 spot. Clay, number 4. Amy Pallo coming up next on the right-hand side of the racetrack, the Audi R8, the car number 36. Will stage up against Mike Dorsick. Dorsick currently in the number 6 qualifying spot, 836 at 163. So Dorsick on the left, Pallo on the right. Both of them looking to move up in the qualifying order. Look at the double wheel stand there for Amy. After the trouble she had on the first one, no problems here. 756, 193 miles an hour for Amy, and that will go to the top qualifying spot. 10:57 at 136 for Mike Dorsick. Not the run that he wanted, as he came in with an 8-second pass and left with a 10-second pass. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Amy Pallo, your new number 1 qualifier by 0.08 of a second, as she displaces Ricky Crossley to the number 2 spot. So now 2 cars in the 7-second range. and Tyler Switzer are next here on the starting line. A pair of Audis, a pair of two-door TTRSs staging up right here. Number 4 qualifier is Andre Left with an 885, 955 for Tyler right side. Let's see how they can do against their times. Andre is not going to improve on his, but Tyler on a decent pass right side. 913 at 154. Tyler lops off about 0.4 of a second and picks up 2 miles an hour, so a good run there for Tyler. Will put Tyler up to the number 7 spot. An unfortunate problem for the left-hand side. It came off the starting line and just did not respond correctly, and that was pretty much all she rode. So we will bring the next pair of cars to the starting line. Billy Soteris coming up next, the Porsche 911, packing the parachute on the right side of the racetrack. Currently your number 13 qualifier in the class with a 13-second pass. Obviously, Billy would like to quicken that up by a little bit. 158 miles an hour on the first shot, showing that the car has 8-second capability. Just see if we can get it out of it. On the right-hand side, Billy. On the left-hand side, Mike Salerno. The Audi RS3 currently qualified number 12, 1033 at 139. Not a bad pass for ET and speed, but both drivers looking to get to the single-digit range. A little bit of a bobble for Mike Salerno, and Salerno will not improve as the Audi will coast slowly down the racetrack. Billy on a pass, 873, 161 for the Porsche driver right-hand side. That will move Billy up in the order substantially over the 13-second pass from the first qualifying session. So Salerno. Jay Lakish and David Briggs next. Briggs in the yellow Porsche right-hand side, Shea in the white Porsche left-hand side. Green light is on and David is gone. 863, 168, improving on his 872 from previous and 6 miles an hour faster. Left side going 1026 at 147 will not improve on Shea's 941 from earlier. And David Briggs now your new number 1 qualifier. Charlie Walsh and J.D. Sissio. Sissio in the Porsche left-hand side and the Audi RS3 for Charlie Walsh. Sissio having some trouble last time out. This run looks much better. Yes, indeed. 952 at 148. 9:42 at 1:49 for Charlie Walsh. Both of them improving. Walsh going from 9:79 to 9:42. JD Sissio going from 10:62 to 9:52. They will end up number 10 and number 11 in the qualifying order with Charlie Walsh's four-door on top. Ryan Kuberit and Jan Bueller next. Bueller in the Corvette and Ryan in the Porsche. The Porsche currently number 4 qualifier at 8:77. The Corvette, the number 12 qualifier at 10:16. 8:91 at 1:57. An improved speed for Ryan, but nothing better in the ET department. The Corvette, on the other hand, enters the single-digit land. 9:56 at 1:50. An improvement in ET and speed. That will move Jan all the way up to the number 12 spot and enters now 12 cars in single-digit territory in the 850 class. The Sissio Performance Audi going down the left-hand side, makes it to about half track and then gets out of the gas and will coast across the finish line to an 11:05 at just 98 miles an hour. Kevin Stowe on a good lick here, 864, 164. Currently came in number 8 qualifier, 903, and he improves by a bunch. So Kevin Stowe will move into the top half of the field in the number 2 spot. Oh my Lord, just less than 1/100 of a second away from David Briggs in the number 1 spot. So we end the session with 13 cars in the single-digit category, and 8 of them are in the 8-second range. So once again, top of the order for qualifier number 3, GTR Extreme. GTR Extreme, I need you to lanes 1 and 2, please. GTR Extreme. GTR Extreme, I need you to lanes 1 and 2. I need DCT Extreme. DCT Extreme, lanes 3 and 4, please. DCT Extreme. DCT Extreme, lanes 3 and 4, please. Corvette on a solo shot right-hand side. 1095 at 128. Once again, I need GTR Unlimited, GTR Unlimited to lanes 1 and 2. GTR Unlimited, GTR Unlimited, lanes 1 and 2. DCT Extreme, DCT Extreme, lanes 3 and 4, please. And a little bit of tire spin off the starting line, that the car slows to an 11:49 at 128 miles an hour. Ladies and gentlemen, not too far away from starting qualifying session number 3 as we wait for some of the competitors to come back around. Once again, I need GTR Unlimited lanes 1 and 2, GTR Unlimited lanes 1 and 2. All right, ladies and gentlemen, going to qualifying session number 3. As I have been told that the top class, the GTR Unlimited class, is going to skip this session. We only have 2 cars in that class. So we're going to go to the second quickest class, DCT Extreme. So DCT Extreme coming into the water box right here. Datley and Nick Cucci coming up first. They're almost ready to go. Datley currently in number 14 spot, 836 left side, 760 in the number 6 spot for Nick Cucci right side. Both of them off good. Nick out in front has to dance with the center line a little bit, and that will cost him some valuable ET. 781 at 179 for Nick Cucci, about 2/10 off of what he ran last time. The speed the same, but unfortunately having to drive it around on him cost him. Datley goes 841 at 174, which is not an improvement on his 836 from previous. So Datley will stay in the number 14 spot with his 836 from previous, and Nick will also stay in his previous spot. That will bring up Craig Blankenship and Marcelo Duran. Blankenship, the number 15 qualifier in the red with carbon accent GTR. 9-10 is currently the bump spot for the number 16 spot, and Craig is in number 15 with an 843. Marcelo Duran, on the other hand, 725, 197 miles an hour, currently sitting in the number 4 qualifying spot. That's the blue car on the right-hand side. So both of them looking to improve on what they've got as we start to get some cloud cover here in session number 3. Both of them come off the starting line good. The better 60-foot to Marcelo, and he's slowly pulling away. Top end says 723, 200 miles an hour for the blue GTR. The third car to eclipse 200 miles an hour today, and a mild improvement over his 725. He'll stay number 4. Blankenship improves to an 808 at 180 miles an hour. That moves him off the number 15 spot into number 11. So we currently have 9 cars. Currently have 9 cars in the 7s. here in the DCT Extreme class. So 9 cars in the 7s, anchored by David Roschneider, 7:03 at 2:09. We have 6 cars in the 8s with Billy Massengale's 8:03 at 184, the best for the number 10 spot. Here comes our next pair. Christine Dotworth, which at one time was holding the number 1 spot. Currently that white GTR with the big wing sitting number 2 at 7:17 at 2:02. She will face Kevin Stowe in this pairing. The number 9 qualifier at 7:81 with a 5 at 184. Both of them off good. Christine's got to drive it around a little bit, but makes it recover, and top end says 7:03. 203 miles an hour for Christine, and she took the long way to the finish line. That was not straight and true, and she ends up in the number 2 qualifying spot by difference of mile an hour. Christine Dotworth and David Roschneider both going 7:03 with a 3 at over 200 miles an hour, so the tiebreaker is the better speed. And that goes to David Roschneider's 2:09 compared to Christine's 2:03. And that does not help, so she stays in the number 2 spot. Kevin Stowe, on the other hand, improves to a 7:75 at 188, and that will keep him in the number 9 spot. It is getting plumb nasty out there right now in DCT Extreme, as we have 2 cars qualified at 7:03 at the top of the field. Feel bad for Christine as she matches the time, but 6 miles an hour determines the tiebreaker. Our next pair in the DCT Extreme class, Tom Harrison on the right-hand side, the jet black GTR. Number 7 qualifier at 7:68 at 184 currently. Will face off against Antonio De Lenardi. De Lenardi in the dark red GTR, occupying left-hand side. Currently qualified number 12, 8:13 at 176. Off the starting line clean and green, and problems left side for Antonio. Right side, Tom Harrison. 7:66 at 181, 8:57 at 176 for Antonio. So Tom Harrison improves by a little bit. He will stay in the number 12 spot, 8:13 for Antonio. Tom will stay in the number 7 spot, as he only improved by 0.02 of a second. Attention in the pits, attention in the pits. I need DCT Street, DCT Street. Lanes 3 and 4, please. DCT Street. DCT Street, lanes 3 and 4, please. DCT Street. DCT Street, lanes 3 and 4, please. So the top car in the 8-second range, Billy Massengale, 8:03 on the starting line, left-hand side, off the starting line with a 130/60 foot, and also has to drive it around a little bit. Can he get into the 7s? Yes, with authority, 7:65 at 186 miles an hour. Ladies and gentlemen, we now have 10 cars below 8 seconds flat in the DCT Extreme class, and Massengale just moved in the number 7 spot, top half of the field. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here comes our next pair in DCT Extreme, Cole Lea and Chuck Cadman. Cadman in the white GTR on the right-hand side, currently the number 13 qualifier, 8:17 with a 6 at 176. Cole Lea, on the other hand, the flat purple car on the left side, 8:30 the qualifying time for Cole at only 1:56 for the number 14 spot. So we've already seen a couple of cars that have improved by a decent amount and move up in the field. And obviously Chuck and Cole would both like to join that 7-second club and get themselves higher up on the ladder for tomorrow's eliminations. Right-hand side, Chuck off like a shot, 122, 60-foot. Cole having some trouble left-hand side. Right side, no trouble at all. 759, 183 for Chuck, and now 11 cars into the sevens in DCT Extreme. A 955 at 142 for Cole is not an improvement on the previous pass. So again, now 11 cars in the sevens in DCT Extreme out of 17 cars total on the sheet. All right, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I will take the DCT 850 class. The DCT 850 class, lanes 1 and 2, please. DCT 850, DCT 850, lanes 1 and 2, please. Stacy Barnett and John Shepard, our first pair out in the GTR GR6 Extreme class. The number 3 and number 4 qualifier. Stacy Barnett was the number 1 qualifier about halfway through the session. The blue GTR left side, 722 at 201 miles an hour. And the number 4 spot for John Shepard, the Shep Trans entry, the silver car on the right side, 735 at just under 200 miles an hour, 199.35. So this could be a good side-by-side pair right here. And unfortunately, they won't leave together. Stacy is on a pole left side. How about 703 with a 5 at 202.45 miles an hour? Not to be denied, a 709 at 199 for John Shepard. And they will move up a spot each. Stacy goes to the number 2 spot. John goes to the number 3 spot, but have not eclipsed the 698. So far, only one car in the class has done so. And Giddy will stay in the number 1 spot for now. He sits on the right-hand side. Left-hand side is Marcelo Duran, who's pulling double duty out here this weekend. Former winner from FL2K. The red car, 7:17, the best time for him. He's in the number 4 spot. And Devin continuing to have trouble, and he's trying to drive his way out of it. 777 at 202 miles an hour, but the bobble on the front half hurt him, as a 166 60-foot is where his ET went. But 202 miles an hour for Devin shows he has the power, but he's going to have to wait until Q4 to see if he can take advantage of it. Marcelo. So Giddy, the number 1 qualifier in the GTR GR6 class, on the starting line left-hand side. The Extreme Turbo Systems back entry. Had to go through some thrashing here from yesterday after they broke some rear end components. But on their first and only shot of the day so far, 698 with a 3 at 196 miles an hour. The only car in the 6s. And once again, sitting in the number 1 spot. They're going to take advantage of the time run right here and see if they can improve their qualifying spot with a little bit better ET. Look at the double wheelie come out, and they had to drive it away from the wall, and that one is going to hurt. An 817 at just 163 as the car came off the starting line and made an immediate hard left. And with the front end in the air, they had no choice but to pedal it to get the front end back down and to be able to steer the car away from the wall. And at that point, they knew that the pass was not going to be faster than a 698. They motored it out the back door anyway, but Giddy will stay at the number 1 spot with a 698.3. All All right, ladies and gentlemen, going back to action here in the DCT Street Class. Brooke Barini and Nathan Sissio coming to the starting line. Sissio in the green Audi, one of the winners at FL2K in the roll racing competition that happened in October last year. And Brooke Barini, the Alpha Princess, one of the few cars that's been on Hoonigan twice and walked away with 2 victories. Because normally that's not something that happens on This Versus That. I believe that Brooke actually got married not that long ago. And she's looking to improve on her 847 at 164 pass. Nathan currently sitting on an 11-second pass, and he looks like he's on his way to possibly improve on that as well. Scoreboards will tell the tale. 876 at 165, improved speed for Brooke, but not what she's looking for ET. However, on the other side, 827 at 175 is a big improvement for Nathan, and that'll move him all the way up to the top half of the field in the number 7 spot. Brooke will continue to sit on her 847 in number 12. And you can see just exactly what happened with Brooke's pass, just like a few of them before her, where the car comes off the starting line, and you can see where the car is bouncing because you can see the tire make contact and then there's an air gap in between. So that upsets the chassis and doesn't usually equate to low ETs. Kevin Stowe going to come up next, right-hand side. The Lamborghini Huracan. He's currently the number 9 qualifier at 835. He will face the number 10 qualifier in this qualifying session. The white GTR on the left-hand side of the track, the Triple Law Firm side. This is Mike Dorchik. Dorchik and Stowe on the starting line. Little tire spin left-hand side for Dorchik, but recovered nicely. 128.60 foot. Can he make it pay off at the top end? 842. I thought that was a 7 by looking at the scoreboard. I was like, yeah, that's a big improvement. 842 at 154, so he will sit on the 836 from previous. An 835 with an 8 at 173 for Kevin Stowe. He is consistent as heck. 835 wide. As the first time she made a pass, the car did not have a completely clean burnout, and they backed it out. Clay Carrer, on the other hand, currently sitting in the number 9 spot on the top half of the bottom field. That's right where Clay wants to stay, but let's see if Clay turns the wake up and gets after it a little more. Kelly will get a time this time. Side by side to the finish line, and a 760 at 182 left side for Kelly Duran, and punches her way into the top half of the field. Clay also improving, 797 at 173, so both of them rocket into the top half of the field. And that will move our bump spot up significantly in the DCT Street Class as we move into the DCT 850 class. Tyler Switzer and Shay Lackish. Lackish, the number 10 qualifier in the class in the white Porsche, currently 941 at 149 on the left side. Tyler Switzer, the number 9 qualifier, at 913 on the right-hand side of the Audi. Both of them off the starting line. The Audi with the better 60-foot out in front, 915 at 153, so staying consistent with the previous 913. Shea, on the other hand, improves to a 914 at 152, but because it will not eclipse Tyler's run, the 914 will stay in the number 10 spot for Shea. It just tightens that field up a little bit more right in the middle. attention in the bits, ladies and gentlemen. Qualifier number 4, first call. GTR Unlimited, lanes 1 and 2. DCT Extreme lanes 3 and 4. So I need GTR Unlimited for qualifier number 4 to lanes 1 and 2. DCT Extreme lanes 3 and 4. Kevin Stowe and Alec DeSanto going down the racetrack. DeSanto will get there first, 9:02 at 1:52. A huge improvement over his coasting 18-second pass from before, so he will move up. 8:56 at 1:65 for Kevin Stowe, improving on his previous best by a little bit, and that will move him to the number 1 spot. Perrin Shaw and Billy Soteris coming up in our next pair. Once again, Soteris in the blue Porsche, the number 4 qualifier currently at an 8:73. Perrin Shaw in the GTR currently not qualified. So Perrin obviously looking to get staged and actually get a pass in this time. And if so, that will put us at a 17-car field in the 850 category. They are clean off the starting line. The Porsche out in front a little bit. The GTR tries to stay alongside. 860 at 166, an improvement for Billy Soteris in the Porsche. 868 at 166 also for Perrin Shaw, and that will move Soteris to the number 2 spot, and Shaw will go to number 4. So now 9 cars in the 8-second range and 17 cars on the qualifying sheet for 850. Once again, I am looking for GTR Unlimited. GTR Unlimited, lanes 1 and 2, please. GTR Unlimited. GTR Unlimited, lanes 1 and 2, please. Charlie Walsh in the Audi RS3 making a single pass right-hand side. Current best pass of 9:42, looking to improve on that. And the scoreboard says 9:33 at 1:51, so that's an improvement in ETN speed for Charlie Walsh. Charlie will be in the number 13 spot. JD Sissio and Jan Bueller coming up next. Bueller in the Corvette on the left-hand side out of Sissio Performance, and Sissio driving his own Porsche 911, was runner-up last year, the final year of the GTR World Cup. Sissio out first. The Porsche looking to better a 952 and goes 946 at 148, so same speed. Slightly better ET, so Sissio will improve slightly. The Corvette now looking to improve on a 956 and goes 967 at 148, so about a 1/10 of a second slower than the previous best pass. So both cars making mid-9-second passes. Sissio improves. Bueller stays in the number 15 spot. So once again, final qualifying, not final, because we are adding a 5th. This is the final qualifying session before we break for dinner, though, but this is qualifier number 4. This is DCT Extreme. No one had taken us up on the GTR classes, so we are going to move into DCT Extreme here. I have called DCT Street to lanes 3 and 4, please. DCT Street to lanes 3 and 4. I need DCT 850 to lanes 1 and 2. DCT Street to lanes 3 and 4. DCT 850 to lanes 1 and 2. First pair out, Datley and Craig Blankenship. A couple of cars on the bottom side of the ladder of 16, and they're trying to move their way up. Both of them in the low 8-second range. Blankenship at an 808 left side, 836 for Datley right side. Both of them looking to get into the 7s. Blankenship on a good hit left-hand side. He could get there. 801, 179 miles an hour, just missing it. His best pass of the day, though, 8:23 at 178. Also the best pass of the day for Dat Lee. So Craig Blankenship will stay in the number 12 spot, Dat Lee in the number 14 spot, as we continue to have 11 cars in the 7-second range. One of them coming up right here in our next pair, left-hand side, Nick Cucci. The flat black with green accent GTR, currently number 7 qualifier, 760 with a 5 at 179 miles an hour. Right-hand side, the number 16 qualifier, the only car not in the 8s or the 7s. Kyle Seibert, 910 at 156 miles an hour, and you think that's not bad for a 4-door. But he is on the outside looking in. In other words, he is over 2 seconds behind the top qualifier in DCT Extreme. So Kyle is looking to make a statement and better his existing time. 156 miles an hour means that the chance is there. He's just got to put it together in the front half. Nick with a 121.60 foot, 489 in the 8th mile. How about 754, 180 miles an hour, and that is an improvement for him. An 898 at 162. An 898 at 162 for Kyle, and that will break us into an all 7 and 8 second field, but unfortunately for Kyle, he stays in the number 16 spot, but has now closed the gap a little bit, and now the bump spot standing at an 898. So both drivers improving from their previous bests as we move to our next pair of cars. Once again, DCT Street, DCT Street. I need you to lanes 3 and 4, please. DCT Street. DCT Street. Lanes 3 and 4, please. I need DCT 850. DCT 850 to lanes 1 and 2 for qualifier number 4. A pair of GTRs on the starting line right here. Billy Massengale and Kevin Stowe. Both cars in the 7s, both cars looking to remain in the top half of the field. And right now, they could get moved around a little bit. Billy Massengale, the gray one, on the left-hand side, the number 8 qualifier at 765. So he's in the top half of the field right now. Stowe is in the number 11 spot at 775. So both of them want to get in the top half of the field. Look at the left side. Massengale has to move it around and steering that thing the whole way down. 767 at 187. He does not improve. But Kevin Stowe punches it through to a 760 at 190. So Kevin Stowe will knock Billy Massengale out of the number 8 spot and down to number 9. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will switch gears and move into the GTR GR6 class. And what an interesting pair coming to the starting line right here. The current number 1 qualifier, Giddy Chamet, and Devin Schultz, who was the number 1 qualifier for the first qualifying session today. Devin currently qualified the number 6 spot with a 750. Wrap your head around that for a minute. A 750 was good enough for qualifying number 1 in the first session. Now the number 1 spot sitting on the left-hand side with the Extreme Turbo Systems ride, the blue car, 698 at 196. So Devin obviously would like to get back from the number 6 spot, but Giddy looking to possibly shave some time off that 698. Here we go. And unfortunately, Devin continuing to have problems. Giddy out there wheeling it left side. How about 680? 680, 201 miles an hour. Giddy just lowers the boom some more, knocks over a 10th and a half off the previous best time, and is locked into the number 1 spot with authority. A 114 with a 960 foot. 446 at 169 for speed in the 8th mile. 680, 201.73 miles an hour. Right now, the second quickest pass of the weekend. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so DCT Street now on the starting line. Don Fike and Perrin Shaw. Shaw in the Lamborghini on the right-hand side, number 13 qualifier currently, 8:37 at 176. Don Fike, on the other hand, in the Collab Garage car, the GTR on the left, the number 4 qualifier, 768 at 182 miles an hour. A good pass. He's about a tenth and a half away from the top spot. Looking for it right here. Let's see what he gets. 131, 60 foot, 505. It could happen. How about 769, 185 miles an hour, a consistent pass with what Don had put up before, but couldn't shave enough time off of it, so he will stay in the number 4 spot. Shaw goes 888 at 174 right-hand side, and that is not an improvement on the 837 from previous, so Perrin will stay in the number 13 spot. Don will stay in the number 4 spot. Kevin Stowe and Nathan Sissio coming up next. Sissio in the Audi on the right-hand side, and Stowe in the Lamborghini on the left-hand side. Currently qualified number 10 right-hand side, number 11 left-hand side, with an 8:27 and an 8:35 time slip. The Lamborghini will get there first. 8:26 at 172, that's an improvement for Stowe. 8:53 at 177 is not an improvement for Nathan Sissio. So Dane Brooks and Ricky Crossley coming up next, a pair of Audis. Ricky, the number 1 qualifier in the DCT Street class for a little bit, now currently number 3, 764 at 192 for the green Audi. The gray Audi for Brooks, 924 at 181, so both of them looking to improve right here as the sun starts to set. Crossley on his way. 5:08 in the 8th mile, 7:60, 194, improving on ET and speed. Brooks, 981 at just 155, getting out of it early. So 7:60 at 194 for Crossley is an improvement. And Ricky Crossley will leapfrog Kelly Duran into the number 2 qualifying spot, as a dude will be between Amy Palo and Kelly Duran, kind of settling himself in the middle there, as the top 3 spots only separated by 38 thousandths of a second, less than 400ths of a second separating the top 3 spots. As the class continues to refine itself and get better, and we bring up the next 2, Mike Dorsick and Clay Kerr. Kerr in the GTR on the right-hand side, that's the blue car with the wing on it. Currently qualified number 6 at 797 at 173. The number 12 qualifier is Mike Dorsick. That's the white GTR with the black, orange, and yellow influence. 836 at 163, good enough for the number 12 spot. Currently the number 6 car, Clay, the bottom of 6 cars in the 7s. A little bit of a bobble there for Clay, but gathers it up nicely. Both of them on good runs as they head towards the finish line. 798, 173 for Clay. 812 at 168 for Dorsick. As Clay will not improve, but Dorsick does and jumps from the bottom half of the field all the way up to number 8. Courtesy of that 812, the number 2 car in the 8-second range. Here comes your number 1 qualifier, Amy Palo. The Audi R8 currently on a 756 at 193 miles an hour. Your number 1 qualifier. As I mentioned before, only 38 thousandths of a second, less than 400ths of a second, about a fender length is what separates the number 1, 2, and 3 qualifiers in this class. So once again, right now, Amy, the low qualifier, looking to strengthen her grip in the DCT Street class. A little bit of tire spin there for Amy. 137, 60 foot. And it is motoring out the back. Top at 743, 200 miles an hour for Amy Palo. resetting the 756 at 193. So now Amy in clear control of number one with the first 200-mile-an-hour blast of the class. 7:43, 200 miles an hour. Amy will hold on to the number one spot and strengthen her grip in DCT Street. RG Stathis coming up in the 316 speed car. RG trying to better an 8:03 at 192. The scoreboard says 780 at 199.05, just shy of 200 miles an hour as RG knocks 0.2 of a second off his previous best time. And that will wrap up the DCT Street class. So we will move into DCT 850, our final class for qualifier number 4. And again, ladies and gentlemen, keep in mind, we will break for dinner and then we will go to our final qualifier of the weekend. We are moving qualifying session number 5 from tomorrow to tonight. So make your plans accordingly. Keep in mind, we will not run a qualifying session tomorrow. We will run the qualifying session tonight because we want to make sure we stay ahead of the weather for tomorrow. So we ask that you please make your plans accordingly. So final call for 850. Final call for 850. If you are not in the lanes, we are going to run out the rest. And then we will shut down for dinner and come back and do qualifying session number 5. Our first two cars on the starting line, a pair of Audis, the TTRS, the blue car left side, Andre Beadle. Currently qualified number 8 with an 885 at 165. The right-hand side is Alec DeSanto. DeSanto currently qualified number 9 with a 902 at 152. So these cars only one qualifying position apart. Alec gets off the starting line first. The little TTRS of Andre trying to get back around him. Top end scoreboard says 885 at 156 for DeSanto. That's an improvement. 892 at only 151 for Beadle. That is not an improvement. And Alec will leapfrog Andre from number 9 to number 8. Both of them now on the qualifying sheet with an 885, separated by just 0.03 of a second. Our next pair to the starting line, Jan Bueller and Tyler Switzer. Switzer in the TTRS Audi on the right-hand side. Number 10 qualifier, 913 at 154. The Corvette of Bueller, number 14 qualifier at 956. The Audi off the mark first, starting to put some distance between them and the Corvette, 919 at 153. Not an improvement, but a good pass for Tyler. 971 at 149, also not an improvement for Jan, but also a good lap. So Tyler will stay number 10. Jan will stay number 14. Shay Lackish and Charlie Walsh, our next pair to come to the starting line. The Porsche of Shay on the left-hand side, currently qualified number 11, 914 at 152. Charlie qualifying the Audi in the number 12 spot, 933 at 151. So again, two cars going to the starting line with only one qualifying spot between them. Both of them trying to move up and would like to get an 8-second pass. Couple of drastically different cars, the 4-door Audi and the 2-door Porsche 911. tire shake out of Shea, and that is gonna cost. Making a good lap out the back, 971 at 149, but the ET was hurt by the front half. 925 at 152, it's an improvement for Charlie Walsh. That the best pass of Charlie's weekend, but it will stay in the number 12 spot. We'll end us off here in qualifying session number 4, the Audi TT RS, currently qualified number 16, and is going to vastly improve on his 16:48 time. 8:95 at 158 miles an hour. Mark just punches his way into the 8-second zone. And ladies and gentlemen, that will officially wrap us up for qualifier number 4. So dinner will start serving in about 4 minutes at 5:30, but keep in mind, we do have one more qualifying session tonight, so don't go anywhere. Make your plans accordingly. We will still have one more qualifying session tonight.